Good morning. This is Tim Morton with FCA Oakland County, and you have received this video because you and I have some connection together. And let me first start by saying I pray that you and your families are managing this situation with coronavirus well. We're in a battle against an unseen opponent, and as a coach for nearly 30 years, I have appreciated the battle. But oftentimes you know what you're going up against, and sometimes it's difficult when you don't know what you're up against, and things happen quickly. So I was just reflecting on that, and it led me to think about the value of taking a timeout. I know when I was coaching that a timeout could be used to change or stop the momentum of an opponent that's made a run on you, and you want to bring your team together, huddle them up, and obviously there's going to be a change in strategy that needs to happen or take place either offensively or defensively. You want to give them a word of encouragement so that they can go back in and counter what has just happened and impact the outcome of the game in their favor. Sometimes you wanted to take a timeout because they just needed a break, or they needed those words of encouragement to go back out there. Oftentimes I would save my timeouts so that I'd have one or two during those really valuable possessions during the last 4 minutes of a game. Personally, I've had a lot of experience and continue to this day battling an unseen opponent in Satan. And there's been many times in my life where I felt the momentum of my faith moving in the right direction, and he comes in and something happens, and she tries to take the momentum away, and there's a need for a timeout. And fortunately in my life, the Lord has placed not a lot of people, but several people that have been a mentor to me, that have planted seeds in me and give me an encouraging word, and shared scripture with me and prayed for me and with me. And these timeouts have been critical to the growth of my faith and for me being able to persevere. They didn't always change my situation, but they did change me. Getting back to the structure of a timeout, it's usually a short period of time. In basketball, it's 1 minute or 30 seconds. And you have to get your team together quickly. You have to communicate well. You have to make sure that things are understood. Oftentimes the coach will use a board to diagram the play to be executed. And there's a lot going on in a short period of time. But it's a very critical time for a redirect. And it can change the outcome of a game. And oftentimes teams will come together and have a rallying point, say some type of word or phrase before they go out to run that play. So here's my plan. I pray that you will join me once a week to take a timeout for truth with Jesus, the greatest coach ever. This timeout will be based on a portion of scripture in the FCA Coaches Challenge reading plan. My message will be brief. It's not designed to take the place of your own spiritual practices. My plan is for it to be 2 minutes or less. I'm going to do my best to communicate the truth that stood out to me. You may find other truths in it yourself, which is awesome. But the key to this whole process is, how are we applying this truth in our lives? As we're executing the play of speaking and living out truth, I know that God will move. And I pray that we'll celebrate when we see him move. As a sign of unity, I will present a brief prayer before we break and run the play. I pray that this timeout for truth will be a blessing to all of us during this very trying time. I will see you soon with the first timeout for truth.